Okay, we're back for video number 2. In the last video we learned about the name of notes. So if you recall, this is C right here. That's the easy way to find it. But by now you should be able to just find it without needing any kind of help. It should be natural for you. This is C, this is C, this is B, this is D, right? C, D, E, C, B, A. Alphabetically, you just go alphabetically. When you get to A, it's G. When you get to G over here, it's A on this side. When you go up, when you come down, it's A to G. When you go up, it's G to A. Okay. One thing I didn't mention in the last video: all the white keys, they're called natural notes. Natural. So this is C natural, B natural, A natural, G natural, F natural, E natural, D natural, C natural. But it's implied. You don't have to say natural. It's just implied. The reason we have to make that delineation is because this right here is not C natural. What is it? It's C sharp or D flat, right? C sharp because we're going up. We're going up this way. So when you go up, you sharp it. When you come down, when you're coming down from here, D, D flat. B, B flat, A sharp. Okay, so this video we're going to talk about major scales. Major scales is just a scale is just a group of notes or a group of intervals put together, and that's about it. That's really the only way to describe what a scale is. So and there are a bunch of different types of scales. I mean, hundreds of different types of scales. But the popular one, the one that everyone has to know, and the one that is used in most music nowadays is the major scale. Okay, and so this is the major scale. Once I play it, you'll recognize it. It goes something like this. If you recognize it, it sounds something like do re mi fa sol la ti do, do ti la so fa mi re do. That's the major scale. Okay, so you'll need to be able to play the major scales in all the keys, and I'll explain what that means in a second. So what we just did right there is we played the C major scale. I'm going to play it one more time. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Alright, C sharp has its own major scale. C sharp, D flat, F, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C, C sharp. Notice that it always sounds like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Here, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so every key, every note has its own major scale. So you'll need to learn how to play the major scale for each note, each key, and so there's a pattern for that. C, from C to C sharp, since there's no note in between, we call that, this move to here, we call it a half step. From here to here, we call it a half step. But from here to here, we call it a whole step. Why? Because there's a note in between and two half steps to make a whole step, right? Boom to boom is a half step. Boom to boom is a half step. Boom to here is a whole step. Alright? Here to here is a whole step. There's a note in between, right? Here to here is a half step. Why? There's no note in between. Alright? Here to here, E to F, what do you see? There's a half step. Why? There's no note in between. Here to here, what is that? A whole step. Why? There's a note in between. You see that? E to F sharp is a whole step because there's a note in between. F to G, whole step. Why is that? Because F sharp is in between. Alright? That's important because we now need to know, that's the we need that when we are trying to figure out the pattern for a major scale. Alright? So let's look at this. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. From C, that's the root. It's called the root. It's called a tonic. From C to D is a whole step. D to E is a whole step. E to F is a half step. F to G is a whole step. G to A is a whole step. G to B is a whole step. And B to C is a half step. Okay? So the pattern is 2 whole steps from here to here. That's 1 whole step. 2 whole steps. 1 half step. Then a whole step. Whole step. Whole step. And a half step. Okay? One more time. C, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And you bring it back down. Reverse. Half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole, whole. Okay? One more time. Whole step. You start at the 1. This isn't a whole step. The move from here to here is a whole step. Okay? So whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, and then bring it back down. Always bring your scales when you play it up. Always play it down. Okay? But that's gonna go for any other scale that you do. So let's pick any scale in random. Let's pick G. G, right? What do we do? Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step from here to here, and then half step. Bring it back down. Okay? Does that make sense? Let's pick another key. Let's go to E. E, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So the pattern is whole, half, whole, half. Whole, half, whole, half. That's the major scale.